You had been married to Jungkook for 3 years. In those 3 years, you gave him all the love your heart could offer, but something always felt incomplete. You couldn't conceive. You saw how Jungkook tried to hide his disappointment, how he smiled for you even when the emptiness gnawed at both of you. It wasn't your fault. The doctors had confirmed it was just bad luck. Maybe time would fix it, maybe not. Still, your marriage was slipping into silence. That's when Jungkook's mother brought Junghyun into your life, a 4-month-old boy with the most beautiful eyes you had ever seen. He didn't come from your womb, but he came straight into your heart. You named him, you raised him, you became his mother in every way but blood. Junghyun was the glue that pulled you and Jungkook closer again. He filled your home with laughter, your arms with warmth, and your nights with meaning. You felt like a real mother. 5 years later, God listened. It was a regular morning when the test turned positive. You stared at the two pink lines, your hands shaking. You laughed, you cried, you didn't know how to breathe. Jungkook came home early that day. You didn't even speak. You just held out the test. He dropped everything and hugged you so tight like you were his entire world. Your family was overjoyed. Jungkook's mother thanked the heavens. But your own mother, she had other things to say. You have your own son now. You need to focus. Adopt children can grow up jealous, careful. You brushed it off. You knew Junghyun. He was your son too, wasn't he? After Jungsu was born, your life changed. You loved him deeply, a bond of flesh, pain, blood, and breath. Holding him in your arms, nursing him, smelling his little head, it overwhelmed you, but so did the postpartum depression, sleepless nights, guilt, crying without reason. You were drowning in hormones, fear, and constant anxiety. Junghyun was patient in the beginning. He would bring diapers or hold your hand when you cried, but the change was visible. You weren't the same mother anymore. You missed his annual play at school. You forgot to pick him up. He waited for hours in the cold. You would say sorry and he would smile like it was okay, but was it? It was a quiet afternoon when Junghyun wandered into the garden where Jungkook's mother was sitting, knitting something soft and blue for Jungsu. He walked slowly, dragging his little feet, his hands clutching the sleeve of his oversized hoodie. She noticed immediately. Junghyuna, what's wrong, baby? He didn't speak at first, just climbed into her lap the way he used to when he was younger. She held him close, her heart already bracing for the ache she suspected. Grandma, he finally whispered, did mommy stop loving me? Her hands stilled, the air turned heavy. She doesn't kiss me goodnight anymore. She didn't come to my school thing last week. She forgets my snacks and he sniffled. She cupped his face gently. Oh, my sweet boy, no, never. Your mommy didn't stop loving you. She loves you so, so much it hurts her when she sees you sad. Then why doesn't she play with me anymore? She always holds baby Jungsu. She doesn't look at me like before. She kissed his forehead, brushing his hair gently. Because she's tired, Junghyuna, not because she stopped loving you. Your baby brother is very small and mommy had to go through a lot to bring him here. Her body still hurts, her heart is still healing, but you are still her son, her first child. The one who made her a mother. Really? Really? She smiled. You were the one who made her believe she could be a mom. Don't ever think for 1 second she loves you any less. She's just busy right now, but soon everything will be okay. You'll see. She'll come back to you and it will be even better than before. Junghyun nodded slowly, still uncertain but comforted in the warmth of his grandmother's embrace. I'll wait then, he said, clutching the tiny blanket she was knitting. I'll be a good big brother and wait for mommy to smile at me again. After feeding and rocking Jungsu, you sat quietly by the crib, watching his little chest rise and fall. His tiny fist rested near his cheek, his lips slightly parted as he slept in complete innocence. You reached out and touched his soft, warm hand, brushing your thumb across it. He was perfect, and yet, in the silence of the room, your heart ached. You felt like you were doing something wrong. A wave of guilt crashed over you, sharp, cold, and cruel. It wasn't that you didn't love Junghyun, you did, with all your heart. But somewhere along the way, between sleepless nights and postpartum anxiety, you had drifted, and that realization made your chest tighten. Your eyes welled up, you buried your face in your hands, biting back the sob forming in your throat. Then you felt it, two strong arms wrapped around you from behind. A soft kiss was pressed to your temple. Jungkook came back quietly as always. He didn't say anything at first, just held you while you trembled in his arms. Is my son tiring my precious wife a lot? There was silence for a moment before you spoke. I'm scared, Jungkook. You whispered, voice cracking. What if I'm not enough? What if I'm failing him, failing both of them? He turned you around gently and knelt in front of you. Look at me, he said softly. You are the strongest woman I have ever known. You carried Jungsu through pain and fear, and you raised Junghyun with nothing but love. You didn't fail anyone. You leaned your forehead against his. I feel like I've changed. I can't balance it all. I'm tired. And Junghyun? He looks at me differently now. Jungkook held your hands, his thumbs brushing across your knuckles. You are human and you are going through so much, but let me tell you something. Junghyun wouldn't have known what love is if it weren't for you. You taught him that. You are his mom, no matter what anyone says. You closed your eyes, breathing deeply. And look at this. He smiled faintly, glancing at Jungsu. He's beautiful, he's ours, and so is Junghyun. I'm the luckiest man alive because I have you, and together we have a complete family now. You felt his warmth wrap around your fear, slowly melting it. Junghyun brought us back when we were drifting, and Jungsu made our love even stronger. There's no competition, just love, that's all. You nodded, leaning into his chest as you whispered, Thank you. For what? He asked. For choosing me every time. You murmured, your fingers curling into his shirt. He smiled and kissed your forehead once more. Always, I will choose you in every lifetime. After that quiet, reassuring moment with Jungkook, the two of you made sure Jungsu was sound asleep in his grip. His tiny chest rose and fell rhythmically, and a soft nightlight cast a warm glow across his angelic face. You leaned down, brushing a feather-light kiss on his forehead. A wave of love passed through you, but so did a sharp ache. The guilt gnawed deeper now. Were you really doing okay? Was this how a good mother felt? Constantly torn, endlessly worried? You turned the baby monitor on and set it gently on your nightstand before heading to your bedroom. The soft hum of Jungsu's breathing came through it, a lullaby of snorts. Jungkook was already fixing the pillows on the bed when you walked in. A quiet knock interrupted the moment. The door creaked open just slightly, and Jungkook's small face peeked through. Umma, Appa, can I sleep here tonight? You looked at Jungkook, unsure if it was okay to disrupt the routine, but Jungkook smiled, warmth spilling from his voice. Why not, buddy? Come here. Jungkook walked over and scooped Junghyun up effortlessly, placing him gently between the two of you. Junghyun looked so small yet so safe, wrapped in his oversized t-shirt pajamas. He leaned forward and planted a soft kiss on your cheek, then on Jungkook's. Good night, Omma. Good night, Appa. You felt the tears threatening to spill again. He clung to your side, wrapping his tiny arms around your middle, snuggling into you as if he was scared you would vanish. Your heart was too full and too fragile at once. Later that night, your mind stirred in restless sleep. In your nightmare, Jungsu's cries echoed sharp and desperate. You rushed to his nursery, heart pounding. The door was ajar, moonlight streaming in through the curtains. There on the balcony stood Junghyun with Jungsu in his arms. No, Junghyun, come inside, baby. Please come inside. You begged, stepping closer, hands trembling, but Junghyun didn't speak. His eyes were vacant, and then he leaned forward. No, you screamed as his small arms released the baby over the edge. You shot up drenched in sweat, the scream caught in your throat, your breathing was erratic, your hands clawing the sheets. You looked around, the baby monitor crackled, then Jungsu's soft cry filtered through. Your heart stopped, your eyes darted to the side. Junghyun wasn't in bed anymore, only Jungkook lay there, sleeping peacefully. You jumped out of bed and rushed to the nursery. The door was open, you burst inside, panic surging through you like fire. Junghyun was there, standing beside the crib, one hand covering Jungsu's mouth gently. I was just telling him not to cry, Junghyun whispered, so you could sleep, Oma. But your fear blurred judgment. You rushed forward and pushed Junghyun away from the crib, arms shaking. Don't touch him, you yelled, picking up Jungsu in your arms and clinging him to your chest. Junghyun stumbled and hit his head with the corner of a table. He started crying, loud, heart-wrenching sobs, not just from the pain but from the hurt of being misunderstood, pushed away by the one he called Oma. Jungkook rushed into the room, his expression dark with concern as he heard Jungsu's cries and realized you weren't beside him. He switched on the lights and froze. You were standing in the middle of the nursery, holding Jungsu tightly against your chest, your entire body trembling. On the floor, Junghyun was sobbing, a thin trail of blood running down his forehead. Junghyun, Appa, I didn't do anything. Junghyun sobbed. Jungsu was crying, I was just trying to calm him. Jungkook's eyes widened as he rushed to Junghyun's side, carefully lifting him in his arms. The blood made his jaw clench. You whispered, Jungkook, but he cut you off, eyes blazing. Not now. He called for the maid in a sharp tone. Moments later, Mrs. John and the maid came rushing in. One look at Junghyun's bleeding hand and her hands flew to her chest, horror washing over her. Oh my god, what happened? The maid brought the first aid kit while Mrs. John knelt beside Junghyun, trying to calm him as they tended to the wound. Junghyun sniffled, his voice cracking. I didn't want Oma to wake up. My little brother was crying and I just wanted to calm him, but she pushed me. Mrs. John tried to keep the situation from escalating, whispering softly to soothe Junghyun, but it was too late. Jungkook's fury had already taken hold. He placed Junghyun in Mrs. John's lap, letting her tend to the wound, and walked back to the nursery with stiff, determined steps. Inside, you were gently laying Jungsu back in the crib, wiping his tears, your own face streaked with silent sobs. The door opened and you flinched. You turned around. Jungkook, I swear I didn't know. I thought. He closed the door behind him with a hard thud. You stepped back. I was scared. I had a nightmare. It felt so real. I thought Junghyun was going to hurt him. Why would I hurt my own son? I'm his mother. Jungkook's voice was cold. I don't know who you are anymore. Your heart dropped. No, don't say that. I mean it. I've been telling myself things will get better, that this phase will pass, but you are not getting any better. Jungkook, please. You thought what? That he would hurt his brother? That he's not your real son, so he must be jealous? His voice shattered something inside you. You are a bad mother. You pushed him and hated him because you are just his stepmother. Saying that, he left without turning back. You locked yourself in the room that night. The door clicked shut with finality, muffling the distant sounds of feet and voices. Jungkook calling for the doctor, Mrs. John soothing Junghyun, the maid scrambling for the first aid kit. You collapsed onto the bed, pressing your palms against your face, muffling the sobs that tore through you. Tears soaked into your pillow, your screams silent, buried deep into the cotton like secrets too heavy to confess. You hated yourself. How could you do that? How could you push the child you raised, loved, named? You begged the universe to rewind time, just a minute, a second, anything, but reality never rewinds. Jungkook didn't come to your room that night. You didn't expect him to. You barely expected yourself to survive the weight of that night. The next morning was painfully quiet, the kind of silence that echoed. You hadn't moved all night except to cradle your knees to your chest. Jungsu's blanket gripped tightly in your hand like a lifeline. You were afraid to step out, to face the world, to see Junghyun's eyes. The door knocked gently, once, twice, then opened slowly. Mrs. John stood there with a warmth that hurt more than coldness ever could. She didn't speak right away. She stepped in, sat beside you on the edge of the bed. Her hand reached out, brushing your hair gently like she used to do after your wedding, when you cried about not being able to conceive. "I know you're not well," she said, voice calm and understanding. "I know this wasn't you." You said nothing, your throat burned from all the things you wanted to scream. But Junghyun, he doesn't need to be punished for that. He's still a child. He doesn't understand what happened last night. He just knows his mother pushed him. "I'm a monster," you whispered. "No, you are a mother who needs help, and you're going to get it." Tears spilled from your eyes again. A few days passed, you didn't sleep much, but you started talking to a therapist, to yourself, to God. You started taking medications, trying to climb out of the darkness that had swallowed you whole. Jungkook didn't speak much to you either, not out of anger anymore, but because he didn't know how to fix it. Until one afternoon, Junghyun came into the living room while you were folding Jungsu's clothes. He stood near the door holding his little sketchbook. "Umma," he said hesitantly. You looked up, startled. He hadn't called you that since that night. Your heart clenched and tears blurred your vision. "I drew you," he said, walking over slowly. "It's you, me, and Jungsu. Look, I gave you big wings so you can protect us." You took the paper in trembling hands. The drawing was messy, colors outside the lines, but so full of love. His tiny arms wrapped around your waist. "I just didn't want you to be tired," he said softly. "That's why I told Jungsu to be quiet. I didn't want you to cry." Your arms wrapped around him instantly, pulling him into your lap as your body shook with sobs. You kissed his hair over and over. "I'm so sorry, Junghyun. I'm so sorry." He held you tighter. "It's okay. I know you would come back to me." That night you sat on the balcony watching the stars, Jungsu cradled in your arms. The door creaked open. Jungkook walked over slowly, sat beside you, his hand brushing against yours before he gently lifted Jungsu from your arms to his chest. The baby cooed sleepily. "I'm sorry," he said after a long silence. You turned to him. "I was angry, furious, but I should have seen you were drowning. I should have helped. I failed you as a husband, as a father." You blinked away tears. "You didn't. I failed. I hurt our son." "No," he shook his head. "You got lost, but you are finding your way back. That's what matters." You buried your face in your hands, your voice breaking. "Do you still see me the same?" He pulled you into his side, his lips brushing your temple. "I see the woman who gave me a family, who gave me not one but two sons. The woman who raised a boy like Junghyun with so much love, he still defends her even when he's hurting." You looked at him, breath caught in your throat. He smiled at the stars. "Junghyun brought all the happiness back into our lives when we didn't even know we needed it. And Jungsu, he completed it." A soft sound echoed from behind. You turned. Junghyun stood in the doorway holding his little brother's pacifier. Jungsu dropped it. He mumbled, Can I sit with you?" "Of course." Jungkook smiled, lifting his arm. Junghyun walked over, climbed into your lap, and rested his head on your chest. Jungkook shifted Jungsu back to your arms, then wrapped his own arms around all three of you. That moment, the cold wind, the warm hearts, the quiet forgiveness, it healed a part of you that had been broken too long. You kissed Junghyun's head, then looked at your two boys. You were more than just a stepmother. You were their mother, and this was your family.